Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so everybody seemed to like the orbicular material, so I went and dug a few more pieces that would be manageable on my little 10-inch saw. Gonna cut through these today and see what's on the inside. Let's take a look at these real quick. Alright, so I got this big white broken nodule. It's got lots of orbs on the outside. It's kind of weathered here. And let's look at the windows that are on it. Kind of grainy. Not sure how well this one will cut, but we're gonna cut it and see. So I gotta cut this thinking that it's gonna be something good. And I want to be able to slab the rest of the material. It doesn't matter really which direction I cut it, so that sits flat pretty good. Maybe I'll try to cut that off, keep that as a heel, and then I can slab the rest of this. All right. Okay, let's see this next piece. All right, do have some orbs showing on it here, and then you can tell here they've been knocked off for the most part with these little divots. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell that that was orbicular if that's all you saw. And sometimes the rocks, that's what they look like in that area. No orbs on the outside, but definitely on the inside. All right, so this one looks like it has a fracture. Most likely running right here. So I'll probably just cut this one down the middle parallel to that fracture. Maybe I'll keep it close to that side in case the material is good and I want to slab the rest. So I'll cut it right here. All right. Okay, so this one's got kind of a white area and then a dark area. You've got some little orbs showing here, and then some broken ones here. And they tend to be getting bigger on this end, it looks like. So it's kind of flat here and a little thicker here. Looks like it might have purple color in it. The orbs do look bigger on this side. Definitely dark down here. So how best to cut this one? I think for now, since this is kind of flat, I will try to cut it down the middle that way. Or possibly I'll just cut it this way, parallel to that break. Might be a little harder to push through. The bottom isn't real flat. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get out to the saw. Okay. This one looks like it has some fractures down here on the bottom. I don't think they run too deep. All right, got a window over here. Smaller orbs here, they get a little bit bigger. All right, I think I'm just gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut it over here, parallel to that, or as best I can. Ooh, I don't know. bigger orbs are over here. These fractures scare me a little, but they might not actually go real deep. I don't know, maybe I'll cut it over here, just on that side of the fractures. All right, we'll see. Okay, next up. All right, very tiny orbs in this one, on this side anyways. You can see them in there. Hopefully they're tightly packed. Small ones sometimes are. All right, well, here you go. There's a good window. Oh, get a little bit of water on this. Didn't help a whole lot. I think it's going to be that kind of a greenish yellowish color, as one of the other subscribers said, baby poo colored. I think we'll just cut, maybe I'll just cut this one in half and down the middle. All right, last one. All right, biggest of the bunch is decent sized chunk. Again, smaller orbs. Kind of see a window here, but can't really tell what it looks like. All right, just big old chunk. I'll probably just cut it in half, short ways. Or long ways, I guess it doesn't matter. All right, let me get these on the saw. I'll get them cut open and we'll see what's on the inside. All right, I'll be right back. All right, back from the saw. Let's see what's hiding on the inside of these. All right, I'm gonna start with this big guy here. He's pretty cool looking. Orbs are small, but consistent. Not a lot of pitting in this one. It's pretty cool looking on the inside. If I can get it to focus on these orbs a little bit, zoom in. Yeah, they're pretty tight on the orbs here. Does have a fracture running through it here. Definitely work around that, since this is another fracture right there as well. All right, let's look at the other half. I think it's pretty much the same. All right, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's definitely a lot of stone to work with here. Get many slabs out of that. All right, next up, similar in color. Let's look at this one, which I cut long ways. All right, similar in color, but it is a little different. The orbs look mixed. It's got the lighter orbs mixed in with the dark, or the less translucent orbs, whereas the other one was mostly the translucent orbs on the outside edge, and then the more solid opaque ones in the middle. Again, this is pretty solid material. I don't see any fractures on this one. A little bit of pitting on the edge, but the solid center would make some really good cabs. And I think the side is just more of the same. All right, yep. Got plenty of material here. Get a handful of cabs out of, or slabs out of that one. All right, next up, okay. So I opted to cut parallel to the bigger orb side. So let's see how it came out. I'm gonna do one side at a time. Probably gonna be similar. All right, so mostly solid white orbs in the center, a little bit of color around the edge, and then this one end looks dark purple. Pretty solid though in the middle. I don't know if I could do anything with this heel. It is cool looking though, it'd make a great specimen. Kind of reminds me of Luna from Mexico. Let's try and take a look at the other half of this, which we could get a few slabs out of. I think it's gonna end up being more purple as we cut it though. Wow, that would make some really killer cabs right in here. Looks pretty solid, except for right here. This is solid though. Wow, that's pretty cool. Even the white orbs are cool. I've done some cabochons out of the solid white orbs, and they typically sell really quick, so people seem to like them. All right, can definitely get 2-3 slabs out of that, and a handful of cabs. All right, let's go through this next one. All right. Let's go to one side. Very dark purple. Again, it's thick, so it's really dark. But once you cut this into slabs, I think it'll let more light through and these won't be as dark. It does have a fracture on the bottom there. And again, I have made cabs out of this dark stuff that looks like this, and they do lighten up once you cut these slabs a little thinner. Still got some oil on this stone. Yeah, it's really pretty material. And this side's probably gonna be more of the same. Yeah. Again, you can see that fracture on the bottom. Plenty of room outside of that fracture to do some cabs though. All right, could definitely get a few slabs out of that little one. All right, next up, I opted to cut this one just on this side of those fracture lines, if that's what they are. Let's take a look. Yeah, the fracture lines, but they don't go real deep. They only go into about right there. Okay, so these orbs aren't as well formed. They're there, and it's got great color. They're better formed right here though. Love the color on this side. I love the orbs right there. All right, not bad. Let's see what the other half looks like, because we can definitely get some slabs off of this. All right, pretty much like the other side. You can still see that little fracture. All right, super pretty. Definitely get some slabs out of that, 2 or 3. All right, last up. All right, got this behemoth. Okay, so I ended up taking the cut along that broken edge, the bigger edge. Let's start off with the small side, see what we got. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna start on this end. So it's a little more porous. That black stuff that's in there, it's probably paint and or oil from the saw. I can definitely clean that out. You could also not use that part. This is definitely better over here, better color. Nice orbs. It's got little white spheres floating in the clear spheres. All right, that actually came out really good. I don't know if I can do anything with this heel other than maybe face polish it at some point. It's pretty big. I'd have to get a different piece of equipment to polish that. That is gorgeous though. Let's see what the thicker side looks like, because this is where I'll slab. All right, so this is getting smaller. That's good. And this section still looks really good. So this thinner side here looks like it has more color, probably because it's weathered in about that far around the edge. They're not too different, I guess. But I'm wondering if this will turn more purple once I start slabbing it. But yeah, that's a definite piece for slabbing and doing some cabochons from. That is gorgeous. All right, last was the last stone in this set. I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll see you on the next video. All right, have a good day, everybody. Bye.